Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. The director of Ripple has predicted that the crypto industry will grow by a factor of 100 as a result of investments in infrastructure. This is simply my humble view, but I can assure you that XRP will play a role in that exponential growth. It is negligible even when considering the market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies. At the moment of recording, it's around 1.4 trillion, which is slightly more than 1 trillion due to a rounding error. Almost 5 years ago, when the market cap was less than 200 billion, I remember expressing that when I started this channel. I predicted that the asset class's market cap will hit $1 trillion at some point in the future. This occurred multiple times during the last market cycle before falling again. But I have also stated previously that an asset class with a value of more than $10 trillion will emerge at some time. I also don't think it's far-fetched to assume that it could top $100 trillion at some point. This is just in its early stages. Additionally, cryptocurrencies that address practical issues will remain in circulation for the long haul. Also, I think it's pretty obvious that many people, including you, the listener, are firmly convinced that XRP will play a huge role in this. It's actually useful, so it won't be thrown out. Instead, more people will learn about it. Only some of the first humans have figured this out. As a result, XRP's quality attracts investors. However, I do have some news to share with you. According to analysts, the path is clear for all Bitcoin ETF approvals in January. The approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF will have a positive effect on the supply and demand dynamics for Bitcoin, which is good for the entire asset class. Now, I know this could be a case of buy the rumor, sell the news, but that would only be the case initially. One may argue that XRP would benefit more from a spot Bitcoin ETF than Bitcoin itself, given the larger multiplier effect that would occur when the two assets were traded together. Just so we're clear, I don't come from a financial family or anything. Do not put your money where your mouth is or base a purchase decision on anything I say or write. I am not a financial advisor. At the moment of filming, one XRP coin is worth 61 cents, and one Bitcoin is worth $37,884. I'm just an enthusiast that enjoys making videos on YouTube about crypto-related subjects. Bitcoin did, in fact, momentarily break above $38,000 yesterday afternoon, reaching $38,342, a rather significant barrier level, before resuming its ascent into the upper 30,000s, as shown on Live Coin Watch. This morning, it broke above 38,000 once more, eventually reaching $38,413 before falling back down again, indicating significant resistance, correct? While still being encouraging to observe. Regarding this matter, though, would it drop? Well, according to trustworthy crypto sources, it's reasonable to anticipate a possible decline, but nothing out of the ordinary. We're not talking the lower 30,000s or the upper 20,000s here. As he shared this Bitcoin USD chart, nevertheless, he did write the following. This occurred yesterday in the early evening, just so you know. It is currently 5:52 p.m. Central Time in my time zone. The initial rejection happened at 5:52 p.m. yesterday, but I wouldn't be surprised if we push up again to take those equal highs before the major downturn starts. Equalizers collected from this morning at 4:54 a.m. show that this did, in fact, occur. As a first significant negative target, he has warned that you might see a flush down to as low as, I think he said, roughly 130 points if you're actually at 36,600. I felt the need to share this with you. According to him, this would actually be a beneficial move on the downside, so we shouldn't be too worried if it occurs. He made a video last night discussing his ideas on this. I watched it. It's around 12 or 13 minutes long. If you want all the reasoning and technical analysis, you can find it on his page on social media site X. Although I do my best to avoid doing so, there are certain analysts whose channels are specifically tailored to providing TA-centric explanations, and I do my best to refrain from doing so when I'm not really interested in the topic. I don't want to be regurgitating TA, but I am interested in the overall opinion of these analysts, just like the rest of you. As far as TA matters are concerned, I am not enthusiastic enough. That would be my strategy. I'm more of an investor who prefers to sit on his money and let it grow. Here I lay out my personal plan, but I adore watching the action and reporting on it all, because I have a stake in it. Moreover, this comes from Cointelegraph. January is the clear runway for all Bitcoin ETF approvals. If you analysts and investors truly believe that Bitcoin ETF products from major firms like BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world with 10 trillion assets under management, are going to fail, it will have a significant impact on the global price of Bitcoin and the entire asset class. However, I still do not believe that a big burst indicates that all the money is just floating around, which would cause excitement. After that, a downward adjustment is possible, but overall, it would be a great development. It will be entertaining, and there are Bloomberg analysts who follow this stuff professionally, so we should be prepared. There will likely be an initial surge to the upside followed by a pullback, much like when we receive news. After we figure out when it goes down, we can celebrate. It's inevitable that everyone will experience sadness again. However, I am not among them because I am aware that this signifies the floodgates have opened, notwithstanding the initial enthusiasm. Personally, I think this is great. After an early decision to delay the bids of Franklin Templeton and #ETFs, there is now a clear runway to probable simultaneous approvals, and calm prevails. The same goes for Bitcoin spot exchange traded funds in the United States. According to analysts, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission postponed its decision on the applications 34 days before the deadline of January 1, 2024, according to Bloomberg ETF analyst James Seifert, who was previously on Twitter. This was reported on November 28, after Twitter. In preparation for the ETF's eventual listing and trading, the SEC sought feedback on Franklin Templeton forms and hashtags. Seifert and his colleague Eric Balchunas had predicted that spot Bitcoin ETF approvals would be 90% by January 10, 2024. The fact that there have been two separate delays in the deletion of comments seems to indicate that this was probably an effort to ensure that all applicants would be considered for approval by that date. To be honest, I had assumed, over the last several months, that BlackRock would be the first to receive approval. If that didn't occur, my second best prediction is that a large number would be allowed. But I'll admit that after reading more updates, my confidence in BlackRock being the sole bidder has diminished. This is because I've been listening to the opinions of many knowledgeable people, including executives from companies that have submitted bids for these tenders. What they're telling us is that the SEC is actually engaging in meaningful dialogue with them, asking them questions, and providing feedback, and it's not all about BlackRock. That is the end of it. Meanwhile, today's news reports that the SEC appears to be attempting to coordinate all of these applications, though this is by no means assured. As for why, exactly, would they act in this way? Unless you want to rush their launches. So maybe I was incorrect in my initial assumption. On top of that, I have my doubts. It now appears, according to additional evidence, that they may have proven a bunch all at once, which is more likely. Furthermore, nothing is guaranteed to be approved during this round. March of this year will tell us. Given the SEC's recent actions, I find it hard to believe that they aren't serious about this issue, although their behavior is significantly different from what we've seen in the past. Why wouldn't I see that as a clue that they're likely to act here? Would you call that approval? Yes, I am aware that there are folks, and that's perfectly okay. People have different printings, and I respect that. No worries at all. Still, what gives you the impression that it's not more likely? The fact that there has been a noticeable shift in SEC behavior from previous iterations makes it seem more likely that this will be authorized. Can you believe they're acting this way? What appears to be the alignment of all these applications has never happened before, and there are real issues about it. Ever. So, for now, it seems like that's the most likely scenario. In any case, if it falls through, they can expect a deluge of litigation from various companies, perhaps including BlackRock, so I don't see that as the most likely outcome. Peace remains, however. Abu Kunis acknowledged in an X post that the SEC was likely trying to clear the runway for them. A post was made by Joe, Carla, and Sarah Collis afterwards. My confidence in saying that is low, Harry. It is mentioned here, nonetheless, that he is a commercial litigator. Notable in the cryptocurrency community, he just penned the Franklin Bitcoin Spot ETF comment period, which will continue until January 3rd. The SEC normally takes 2 or 3 weeks to examine comments. Consequently, this raises the likelihood of a March approval, though it is not assured. However, January is still a strong contender. The outcome will be determined by this. Everyone's reasoning is grounded in real actions, not irrational guesswork. So, we're just making assumptions. This, however, is not merely irrational conjecture, it is grounded in actual occurrences that this is the most likely outcome. Maybe nothing happens, but we'll discover that out together. However, I believe that something will transpire. I'm only making an educated assumption. Alright. Then there's XRP, which is about to make a splash. Ripple's director predicts a 100x expansion in the cryptocurrency industry's investment in infrastructure. Part of this essay is all I want to discuss. Since this is coming from a higher up at Ripple, I felt compelled to cover it in order to bring attention to it. We are only a little bit ahead of schedule, that's all. Among the first to embrace cryptocurrency, we are. The majority of individuals do not share our beliefs. However, I am also aware that they are completely skeptical and have not conducted any investigation whatsoever. Skepticism is acceptable. Like that's good for you. Anyone who enters the crypto space without a healthy dose of skepticism raises questions about their worldview, in my opinion. So it's fine with me. Unfortunately, there is a lot of real potential here, and it's puzzling that some individuals who are aware of it but are skeptical don't investigate it. And XRP is clearly the one we've been looking for. That's the general consensus among us, isn't it? Else we would not be standing here. Hence, Navin Gupta was the managing director for the Middle East and South Asia at Ripple's. At this event, he was speaking. As I mentioned before, I want to discuss a section of this article. It goes like this. In the meantime, the managing director of Ripple Middle East recently announced that payments are taking a back seat at Ripple. What this means is that the company is shifting its focus to explore numerous new opportunities in the cryptocurrency space. He asserts that Gupta explained that Ripple is actively creating solutions to meet the diverse needs of institutions, including tokenization, payments, and custody, and that the company is shifting its focus from being just an enterprise crypto payment solutions provider to being a one-stop shop for institutions exploring cryptocurrency. Our goal is to establish ourselves as the premier platform for institutions looking to utilize cryptocurrency for a variety of objectives. I also found a video that Eddie, another XRP YouTuber, shared. Gupta finally offered investors some strategic advice as the panel discussion came to a close. Gupta predicted that the cryptocurrency market would grow 100-fold in the next years, drawing a parallel to the gold rush to emphasize the evergreen significance of infrastructure. He went on to say that Ripple and other vital tool providers will prosper. Additionally, he advised not to fret over the future of digital assets. Obtain shovels and picks. That final quote is perfect. Indeed, according to what he stated in the video clip that I viewed, the entire industry would be 50 to 100 times larger. Even now, it feels like. In your opinion, what does this signify? Given that just around 4% of the population has ever put money into cryptocurrency, what does the future hold for Bitcoin and other early adopters? Since nearly everyone starts by purchasing Bitcoin, I feel compelled to mention that, even if it's likely related, in particular. Oh, I am quite the eccentric. I did not get Bitcoin prior. Still, let's talk about 4%. Plus, fewer than 1% of the world's population has ever bought XRP. After considering all of the information, that is the closest estimate I have. And there are a lot of reasons why you can't know for sure, reasons I've already mentioned. Let it enough that nearly no one owns XRP. I think we could all agree on that. On the other hand, aren't we correct? Over the previous nearly 10 years, millions of us have realized that holding XRP will be a wise investment. Now there are quite a few individuals here. There is so little money in it right now, but when this thing takes off, it will be worth it. Even though XRP has a big market cap, the vast majority of coins with that kind of market cap have very little money in them. Bitcoin isn't exactly a hot commodity right now, so unless you plan to hold on to it for the foreseeable future, there are less unpleasant options. Next, perhaps, alright, absolutely. Assuming it maintains its position as the market cap leader, which it very well may. Otherwise, it's amusing to imagine that a small-cap cryptocurrency in the distant future could be valued at the same as XRP, which is worth around $32 billion at the moment, in terms of market capitalization. And that's quite a big hat. Now, that might seem like a small cap, but when that asset class is worth tens of trillions of dollars, it will appear enormous, because there will be coins with market capitalization in the trillions, and unless something drastically changes, I don't see XRP falling behind. Money goes where the value is, and XRP is a representation of that value. That is my point, then. A 100x yes from a Ripple executive, for example, doesn't sound completely insane. We might be referring to different things, since he mentioned it was for the entire crypto sector. It makes no difference whether you're discussing companies in the space or not. There is a genuine chance for life-changing fortune, and we are in the early stages. This is not an abstract idea. The thing is, most people, dude. Emotional instability affects a large portion of society. Everything is going to be wasted by a lot of people. Just average folks like you and me, though, can take advantage of the opportunity. Yes, it's true. For that reason, I will do nothing while I sit here. The sound doesn't bother me at all. Or at least I try not to let it affect me to the point where I feel like, I know what's going on, I should be aware of it, so I pay attention to it. Nonetheless, I refuse to let it affect me emotionally. I simply wish to be cognizant. Contrary to popular belief, investment is best done coldly and rationally. Though that may be easier said than done, my dear. I understand. Yet the reality remains. That's not my area of expertise. No matter what I say, you shouldn't go out and buy anything for yourself. And please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.